All right, Leo, welcome to your monthly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for December of 2015. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology, which you can find more about down below. All right, Leo, so another very transformative month, at least these first couple weeks of December, a lot like the last 2 weeks of November, but different. We still have that Saturn squaring up to Neptune these first 5 days, but that's going to be waning. But for these first 2 weeks, Mars is going to be forming this T-square between Uranus and Pluto. So definitely transformation and change, which I'll talk about. And then we have a new moon on the 11th. And then after that, things become a little bit more expansive. In fact, maybe quite expansive. The sun goes into Sagittarius. We've got Venus going into Libra, where she's in a much better sign position. We've got a full moon in Gemini and Uranus changing direction. So definitely different the first half compared to the second half. And let's go ahead and get into this. If you have any specific questions, please comment down below. This is going to be very general. If you want a more specific look, do check the weeklies for Leo, where I go into more of the specific transits and dive deep into these particular aspects. So from the 1st to the 5th, Saturn's still squaring up to Neptune, so that uncertainty, that doubt perhaps about the future, and uncertainty and doubt has been probably involving your relationships, your one-on-one connections, which has been Neptune in that 7th, as well as maybe the home life, the family stuff, anything you're building with that. So it's all about having faith and trust in both areas, as well as building and working hard towards those areas. You know, at the 4th house, you know, there's new things that maybe you're building with your emotional body, with home, with your family, with your past, with your roots, with Saturn going into Scorpio, you know, for most of this year off and on, but, you know, really these past few months to stay there. You know, it's building that, and also those one-on-one connections, building those. But, you know, what are the details? Where are they going? It's very unknown. And so the key with this is to, while build, is to have faith and trust. And it's a very constructive energy. So we can build it one step at a time, especially over these next few months, because this aspect will be an orb. But these first 5 days, certainly easier than the end of November, since that aspect went exact. So now it's kind of, you know, getting into the groove of it, doing it and implementing it, you know, and integrating it into our life. So that'll be the first 5 days. And then from the 5th to the 8th, we do have Mars squaring up to Pluto. So this is, you know, the part of the T-square, especially emphasizing the transformation and change aspect. You know, Mars is all about our intentions. It's about our drive. It's about our ego, the things we want. And then Pluto is everything that is going to strip that away and say, look, if it's coming from a place that is, you know, not pure, if it's coming from a place that we're too attached, then it's going to start to unravel. It's going to start to, you know, unfuse. So the key with this is to go into it with non-attachment, and to go into, you know, our, you know, whatever it is we're intent on with compassion, and be willing to adjust and be willing to change, as well as to be willing to understand a lot more about ourselves in a deep and psychological way, so that we can clear out any old skeletons, any old energies that are just no longer serving us. Now, this is specifically involving perhaps the material aspects of life, maybe financial, where you've had Mars in that second house for about the past almost couple months here. So there's a lot of intention. There's a lot of drive to maybe, you know, get the financial stuff in order, maybe pursue your values, maybe, you know, enjoy more of the simple pleasures, the good meal, the rest, the relaxation, you know, the earthly things. But this month, especially these first couple weeks, very important to continuously, you know, set those intentions and goals and put energy into it. But yeah, the more non-attached, the better. The more you're willing to change things, and the less personally ego involved you are, I think then it just makes it health, like in a very healthful way. Then you're able to pursue those things that, you know, are truly meaningful to you, not any type of unconscious or subconscious programs that oftentimes run that we end up, you know, acting on, which Pluto gets rid of. You know, Pluto's his job is to get rid of all that deep stuff that, you know, is just creating a sort of pattern in our life that's unhealthy. So it's exploring that, it's being willing to dive deep in regarding your intentions with the earthly aspects of life, as well as with Uranus. You know, it's about freeing yourself from any bonds, because oftentimes, you know, the financial material stuff can free us, but at the same time, it can also bind us to it. So freedom is going to be very important there. But do keep everything nice and grounded, especially from the 9th to the 12th when Mars opposes up to Uranus, because oftentimes it can feel like we're wanting to just break free, do some sudden things, free up any restrictions. And although there is something calling you here to really tap into what's really meaningful and what's really deeper in life, to connect to that, it's not going to any extremes with it, right? Because obviously the material aspects of life are very important, as are the non-material, right? So finding that and listening to that freedom in a nice, slow, and steady way this early part of the month. Now, it's also involving your self-expression, which has been Pluto in that 5th house. So that's going to continue to change and transform as it has been over many years, and your passions, your hobbies, all of that. And so, again, non-attachment with that, putting energy into those areas, as well as anything around home, family, past, roots. Mars rules your 4th house. Could be a transformative month with that. Your emotions could be changing. Your foundation as a person, your emotional foundation is changing. So being open, again, diving deep with those areas, as well as your philosophy, your spirituality, your outlook on life is changing as well. So it's involving a lot of different areas, but I think fundamentally the key is to be open to change, to be open to moving forward in a non-attached way, and listening to freedom in a balanced way will be the key with this T-square. So the key dates, 5th through the 8th, 9th through the 12th with those. And then right in the middle, we do have Mercury going into that 5th house of yours, which is quite nice to have while this is taking place. So here there's a shift to, I think, more of what are you really passionate about? What really excites you? Again, all this stuff that's deep and transforming. But here you can think about it. You can start to apply it. And so there's a lot of insight coming in this month in terms of those passions. So that shift is going to be an ongoing theme for the rest of the month. So it's a good time to, maybe play some games with some friends, socialize, tap into your creative skills, get into, artwork or anything else that you do personally that's creative. All of that, I think, will be a great release and sort of foundation for you to move forward with as, this more transformational energy is going on in the backdrop. So that's going to be that shift. And then from the 10th through the 11th, there is going to be Venus trining up to Neptune, which is quite nice. So here it could be quite good for the career stuff and the communications, and maybe even some more positive energy to some extent with the financial material stuff, even though all of that's going to be transforming at this time. So it's just opening, I think, feeling good, could be easygoing with those areas in particular. And then it could even be nice for the relationship stuff with Venus forming a nice aspect up to your 7th house. So that's going to be just those, couple days there, 10th to the 11th. And on the 11th, we do have the new moon, and that's going to be in your 4th house of home, family, past, roots. So new beginnings with those areas of life, whatever it might be for you personally. So it's a good time during the new moon to just kind of pause for a second, reflect, set any new intentions, and then as the month unfolds, more of that positive energy, energetic energy building for you in regards to, those things and people that you're sentimentally connected with. But it certainly can be new beginnings around those particular areas. And then here's where things start to shift and become easier. Venus goes into Libra. Okay, so this is involving your career. It's also involving your communications and your thinking patterns. Going into the 3rd house, so I think naturally you could, find maybe more of the social, communicative energies quite nice, quite enjoyable. And and so with Venus pretty well aspected this month, it could be quite nice for those areas in general. But especially from the 16th onward, there is this shift where Venus is much better placed in your 3rd house of connecting to the mental, social, and communicative aspects of life. And with her ruling your 10th, it could be that in regards to your career also. So then on the 19th, then Pluto, or Mercury meets up with Pluto in that 5th house. So there is certainly transformation. There is certainly change happening with that self-expression, very much so, especially around the 19th. But this has more to do with how you see it, how you communicate it, what you think about it, and any old, again, thinking patterns that are just no longer serving you in regards to what you're passionate about, in regards to what you're excited about, and how to convey that. So with Pluto, just like I was saying, non-attachment, and with Uranus square, watch any sudden decisions, any sudden choices with those things. Also involving the finances. I think a lot of you with the material stuff, whether it's financial or otherwise, is going through a transformation this month. So it's about getting rid of any old concepts, any old belief systems, okay, to make way for the new, more healthy perspectives on these things, as well as anything group related or community related, which is Mercury ruling your 11th house as well. All right, so shifts and changes there. And then on the 21st, the sun goes into that 5th house. So here the sun likes to be in the 5th house. It's all about expressing yourself. It's all about illuminating more of those passions. And so it's a great time, like I was saying, this month, but especially the second half with the sun after that transformation sort of occurs this past week, basically around the holidays. There is this self-expression that's been transformed and a good focus that can be implemented into it, so that you can have more of that playful sort of attitude on life. Then on the 25th, which is going to be Christmas, for those of us who celebrate Christmas, we do have that full moon in Gemini, which is going to be that 11th house. So it's a culminating point in regards to anything community related, group related from over the past 6 months, or at the very least, you're aware of it. You're aware, you're seeing clearly now the importance of the community, the importance of groups, being other oriented, all these kinds of things, which are very important. And then that's positive energy being channeled into the other areas of your life there. And then also on the 25th, Uranus goes station direct in that 8th house, so a lot of things start to shift and move forward in regards to this inner transformation that maybe you've been involved with over the past 6 months. And again, it's all for you to have more freedom, so you can connect to what's really meaningful to you in life and free yourself from unhealthy bonds and unhealthy attachments of that 8th house. All right, Leo, so I hope you guys have a great month. If you have any questions, please let me know. Do stay tuned for this message about this special that I'm going to be running between now and the end of December. And hope you guys have a great one. Take care. All right, so it's that time of the year again for the holidays. I'm running a special this year. Get one reading for yourself for 2016 and gift that exact same reading to a friend or family member for the holidays. So whether it's a live phone or Skype session, whether it's a 1-hour recorded reading or a mini birth chart reading, you get that exact same reading you can gift out. So for more information on that, do click the link directly below. And I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday season. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because I also do daily and weekly videos. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.